Hi everyone, and welcome to the 5th video of our series where I'm using Articulate Storyline as I would a game engine. So if I press J on my keyboard, like I have this interesting and simple character stats menu. I have my name, some of the stats, how my character looks like, and I have these tasks. If you remember, what was the goal for this version is for us to include the dialogue options and a bit of more of a branching scenarios and some additional things. So I just need to go to one of the rooms, and if I check now, you can see that this task has been completed. Cool. Now if I go back and I go on the bottom room, since that's another task, as you can see, nothing happens. Okay, I need to talk to the little guy at the top. When I get near, the dialog box will pop up. We have this little animation and the text. So here what I wanted also to show you is how now with all the systems set in place, we can actually build different branchings. So in this case, classic quote from Matrix, this guy doesn't look like Morpheus, but that's okay. If I choose, I want to go and pick a red pill, it's going to be choices made, go. And if I go now to the bottom, you can see that I have a red pill here. I mean, I just wanted to have something to show quickly, and then one of the next things that I'm going to do is the polish. Now, just to demonstrate, if I go here again, and I select blue this time, and I go underneath, you can see that now we have a blue pill. Cool. As I said, now when we have a couple of systems in place, so we have our scene manager, we can go between the scenes, we have our dialogue options, we have our walls, our obstacles, everything that we created so far. Now it is getting much simpler and much faster for us to actually build all of these elements quite quickly, I would say. In this specific case, what we have is 2 different scenes depending on the selection that will open or close, but like you can do many different things, like we can have a character show up in one specific scene, or like if you say something to the person A, one in the other room, the character B will disappear and it will not be there, and so on. Like we can have many of these interesting combinations, branching options where you actually have a lot of agency for the player. And when we talk about the agency, I think that's one of the main things that a lot of instructional designers are, in essence, in e-learning, what we are missing, because all of this that I'm showing, you can of course do that with classical Articulate course where you would have pop-ups, questions, and so on. But the main difference here is like from the perspective of user, learner, however you want to call it, gamer, player, I matter much more here than in some other linear scenarios. In essence, everything is still linear, but I have a choice. I want to go here. Okay. And now I want to see if something is happening. Like, can I go here? No. If I go to that water bottle, what will happen? Nothing. Okay, I'll go back, and so on. But the main point being that this type of interaction allows me as a learner to have the complete agency, or at least the illusion of choice and agency within a preset system in a way. Because everything that we are going to build here is linear. Okay, it can be a bit different and so on, but in essence, it can be really linear. But the fact that I'm controlling a player, that I have an agency, is on one side making the game more interesting, and on the other, making me feel more engaged as my choices really matter. So that's been all for this video and this little rant. So let's go back to our plan. So now what we have and what we have done, like we have added the dialog boxes and interactive choices. So I managed to do both of these because now we are actually getting a bit faster with everything. And I added a couple of additional things here with these 3 dots to see if you have any ideas and additional things that you would like for me to develop. So the next step is going to be for me to polish these assets, like in general feel of the game. I'm really lazy in essence, like, and you can see that with my Matrix reference and the way how I really simplified a showcase here. So like what I would really like is for this to be in a way contextual, so that it makes more sense. And like I would like to add much more animations and so on. So like general polish around the game and assets. And this is going to be a big one. So you saw that like we have that little character sheet, let's call it, and it has some of the stats. Like this is now only image and nothing special. But the idea here would be that depending on how you interact and what you do, you can have your stats improved. And if your stats get improved, you might have additional, I don't know, dialogue options. So if I have, let's say, charisma 8 out of 10, and I go and talk with any of the characters in the game, I might have additional option. And in the case of learning, charisma might not be a good example, but let's say that you are actually leveling up your soft skills throughout the game while you are having dialogues that are relevant, selecting the choices that are relevant from the perspective of your learning objectives. By doing this, on one side, you are sending a message to the player, like you don't have to write them general feedback. You can only say, hey, you leveled up, you gain 3 to your soft skills or something like that. And while the player interacts with the game, they will see that what they've done and the choices that they made so far actually matter throughout the game by having additional dialogue options. That is one of the examples. So something like that. And also I'm really interested to hear, like, do you have any additional ideas or things that you would like for me to develop and try out? In essence, with Polish, I was planning to finish this mini project, but I actually really like this idea of skill progress. So I might actually build that as well. Okay, thank you for watching. This has been a bit longer one. So if you got here, thank you for your attention and see you in the next videos. Bye.